And now, College Tip-Off 2025, Virginia Tech.
Hi everyone, I'm Jermaine Ferrell. Welcome to College Tip-Off 2025 as we preview the upcoming season for the Virginia Tech Hokies men's and women's basketball teams. Ladies first, because that's how we roll as we take a look at the Virginia Tech women's basketball team, the Women of Tech, that is. Now, last season, the Hokies under first-year head coach Megan Duffy went 19-13 overall and 9-9 in the ACC, finishing 8th in the league. This coming season, Virginia Tech is picked to finish 10th in the conference. Now, Virginia Tech opens up the season at home November 4th at Castle Coliseum against Towson. The Hokies ACC openers also at the Castle December 7th against the conference favorites in the Duke Blue Devils. With more on the season ahead for the Virginia Tech women, here is Ryan Moye.
Well, last season, the Virginia Tech women's basketball team fell just short of the NCAA tournament. And as head basketball coach Megan Duffy enters her second season at the helm of the program, her new look squad is hoping to make a bit of noise during their 2025 campaign.
I think one of the things for our group is to always have a chip on our shoulder. We were disappointed with a couple things that happened at the end of the year, but in so many ways with college basketball, you reset and you have a whole new group of players. We have a couple great additions to our coaching staff, and you reset yourself. You focus on the process every single day.
Duffy has 7 new players and 6 returners on her roster, and chemistry is the name of the game, especially when it comes to veteran leadership.
Like she always says, I'm a veteran now, so it's definitely really important for me to use my voice and use my leadership to help the freshmen and transfers, of course, because I just want to be someone that they can look up to and be an example. And then obviously I'm a reflection of Coach Duffy since I've been in her program before, so just using that to my advantage.
As more leaders emerge, expectations continue to rise for the Hokies.
Just understanding that you just can't have mental lapses on small details that you kind of just know. I think there were so many times last year, specifically late in the game, that we just had the smallest lapses, and that cost us so much. And so kind of using that now, don't come into practice not ready to go, don't come in if you're going to be lazy, none of that stuff.
Armed with a newfound sense of accountability and leadership, the Virginia Tech women's basketball team, well, they look to make a statement on the court and hopefully make their way back to the NCAA tournament this season. In studio, I'm Ryan Moye.
Well, we talk about great basketball knowledge. No one's any better than former star basketball player, the Clemson Tigers, plus the ACC Network and ESPN, Kelly Gramlich. And Kelly, so great to see you today.
It's great to be here. It's great that it's almost hoop season. I cannot wait. I know we're still very much in football season, but basketball season's right around the corner.
Now, obviously, we focus a lot on Virginia Tech. And every time I see your show, you're passionate about Virginia Tech women's basketball over the years. Obviously, the second year under Megan Duffy. Just your thoughts about just that second year, because the first year they were so close to the NCAA tournament. So what you feel they can do for an encore?
Yeah, I think the NCAA tournament should be the goal for Virginia Tech this year, and Coach Duffy did a great job in year one. She took over a program that lost a lot of players, whether to graduation or the portal. She got 19 wins, got them to the WBIT. They had every chance to make the tournament, just lost 1 or 2 games down the stretch, and they were able to retain a lot of their roster. Carly Wenzel, Karis Baker, I think are 2 very good players in the ACC. They took a big jump under Coach Duffy in year one. Karis Baker is a player that I think can be really special with her size, the way she can shoot the 3, and just understanding how to be more physical inside. And then Wenzel, she's got to bring it every night for them at the point guard spot. She did that a lot last year.
One thing I also know you talk about a lot, the atmosphere at Castle Coliseum for women's basketball. I mean, a lot of people say it's second to none. Just your feelings on that. Also, obviously, it wasn't too long ago, did a college game day there, which was pretty cool.
Game day in Castle was crazy. That was a really cool experience, and Virginia Tech fans are just special. I mean, that fan base, they're going to support Virginia Tech, rain or shine, no matter what's going on with the team. And we obviously saw in the Kenny Brooks era and in the Liz Kitley, Georgia Amore era, that fan base just became unreal, but they stuck with the program, and we still saw great crowds last year for Coach Duffy and a team that almost won 20 games, still a very solid program, and the crowd continued to show up. So I think that's really exciting for Virginia Tech as they continue to build, and this program is really made in Duffy's image. She's able to get her players in. I think those crowds will continue to come as Virginia Tech continues to win. But every time I get to call a game in Castle, I get excited, because those fans are great. They understand the game, they support their team, and it's really cool to see.
I got to ask you this question. What player on Virginia Tech kind of reminds you of yourself, basically?
Oh, man. Well, it probably would have been more a player last year in a Matilda Eck, who was just a shooter. I mean, just knockdown shooter. Loves the 3-ball. Didn't really care about scoring inside the arc. Who cares about that, right? You don't need that. So they probably have more versatile players this year than me, so that's good. But I mean, I love the way Karis Baker shoots the ball. She has one of the purest strokes out there. She's really fun to watch. And then I want to see some of these younger players and see how they emerge. This player does not remind me of me, but a player like Samaya Suffren with her speed, or Mackie Nelson with her speed, and getting those players back on the floor is going to be great for Virginia Tech.
Final question. Virginia Tech will be successful this year if
they can clean up some of the mental errors they had down the stretch in some of those games, that, like the Syracuse game that kept them out of the NCAA tournament. Carly and Karis talked to us about that on the set back here at ACC Network. It's something they're really focused on, and I think with another year of experience, they will. And I think Virginia Tech's going to be back in the NCAA tournament.
See, you don't get any more knowledge any better than Kelly Gramlich, the star player at Clemson, ACC Network, ESPN, all the good. Kelly, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much.
Meanwhile, on to the Hokies men's squad as Mike Young enters his 7th season as head coach. Last season, Tech finished 13-19 overall, 8-12 in the ACC for a 10th place finish in the league. Virginia Tech this season was picked to finish 12th in the conference. Now, new for the ACC, league members will play 18 conference games versus 20 games. Now, Tech's season opener is November 3rd at the Castle against Charleston Southern. The Hokies' ACC opener is on New Year's Eve, also at Castle Coliseum against the Virginia Cavaliers. Miriam Chamberlain reports from Blacksburg on the men of Tech.
Well, the Hokies are gearing up for what could be a defining season for head coach Mike Young. Virginia Tech has reloaded its roster in the offseason. Most intriguing pieces coming from overseas as the players bring international experience, height, size, and of course, high expectations.
You know, they come from different countries, you know, Germany and Greece. How they play basketball is different for sure, but I mean, we've been adjusting to it. And I think things have been going well. Off the court, it's been fun to learn like their routines and all that. It's totally different from what we do in America, so it's been great.
The last few months has just been getting to know a bunch of new guys, you know. Well, you know, we got me, Ben, Jay Shoot coming back, but getting to really play with a bunch of new guys, see how they move, see how they move on the court and things like that has been really fun.
It was a great first couple of weeks, getting to know everybody, getting to know the style of play here in the U.S. It's a little bit different in Europe for sure. I would say the pace, it's slower in Europe, here it's faster, so have to get used to that, but other than that, it's been great.
Ben Hammond's doing a really good job and just so much bigger and stronger. Isaiah Pasha's a good-looking young man at 6'5", probably 205. Neo's 6'9". Toby's 6'8", 6'9". Amani is 6'7", 6'8". His long arms and plays long. Just so much more versatility than I've had in recent memory. I'm very happy. We all are with where we are right now. We still have a lot of work to do, and I'm sure, you know, everybody out there saying the same thing.
Hokies men's basketball returns soon with the international additions in the mix. Here in Blacksburg, I'm Miriam Chamberlain.
All right, folks, Jermaine Ferrell here. We're going to talk Virginia Tech men's basketball. Award-winning writer for the Virginia Pilot and the Daily Press, Davd Teel. And David, I tell you one thing, it is basketball season, and obviously the expectations are high for Virginia Tech. What's just your overall thoughts about the team?
Well, it's interesting, Jermaine. I was thinking about looking at the roster this morning. This has got to be the first time in Virginia Tech history and in Mike Young's coaching career that every single player on the roster is either in his first or second year in the program. There's not a single third-year player on this team, and how they all come together and how they adjust to Mike and vice versa will be fascinating to watch.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned first and second year players, but there's a lot of talent too. When you have first and second year players, there's got to be some talent there.
Well, first and second year players, two of whom are European professionals.
Yes.
I mean, really, I mean, Neo is you know, among the talks of the country, you know, from a college basketball standpoint, coming over from Greece. And then you have Antonio Dorn, the big 7-footer from Germany, that will really give Mike some different pieces to work with in the post. But I think what will be really interesting to watch with this team, Coach Young's big problem last year was turnovers. And they were among the worst in the country in turnover percentage. I mean, he said it drove him crazy, and it will, he needs to fix that. And I think he's, especially with Abdallah, he's 6'9", but Mike has said repeatedly what a great passer he is, and that might be the strength of his game. So how he gets everyone else involved, can he set up Jaden Shoot for threes, or Jalen Bedford? Just interesting roster.
So, and you've covered Virginia Tech for several years, but how would you compare just things overall compared to previous years? Because you've seen the ups and downs of Virginia Tech men's basketball, but it seems like this year might be one of the biggest and most important years in some time.
It is. And after 3 consecutive years not making the NCAA tournament, they had that wonderful run in Brooklyn, and that year to stun everybody, 5 wins in 5 days, and then they're in the NCAA tournament, but nothing really since. So it's time for the Hokies to step up and end that 3-year drought in the NCAA tournament. Can they get there? That's the big unknown, because with all these new players, we've never seen them together on the court. Coach Young and his staff are just getting accustomed to them. So in the portal era, so many unknowns.
That's good stuff. Well, David, I appreciate it. I just wanted to make sure. Daily Press, Virginian Pilot. I want to make sure. I mean, you got all of them there. I was like nervous. They want to mess it up, but David, thank you.
I'm in the 757, Jermaine.
There
That's
you go.
all you got to know.
Any paper you see at a 757 is David Teel. Thanks so much, sir.
Thank you.
And then here are some final notes on Hokies men's and women's basketball squads. Again, both teams will play an 18-game ACC schedule. This is a change from the men, as last year they played a 20-game league schedule, home and home with UVA for both men and women. The ACC men's tournament will be in North Carolina and Charlotte, and then the ACC women's tournament, that'll take place in Duluth, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta. Well, good peeps, guess what? That's going to put a wrap on the College Tip-Off 2025, featuring the Virginia Tech men and women's basketball teams. For Ryan Moye and Miriam Chamberlain, I'm Jermaine Ferrell, as the Virginia Tech Hokies gear up for the season coming up ahead.